My name is Shedrick Pelt. I'm a DC-based photojournalist. I spend my time telling community-based stories, covering Capitol Hill, covering the White House. But I find my most passionate stories that I tell are about community and culture. And I think this project is a continuation of all the work I've done over the last 15 years. When I brought this project to the Huntsville-Madison Public Library, it was almost as if they gave me the yes before I could even explain it. I was like, wait, let me explain it and then say yes. But I think that just shows how inviting and how important an institution like the library is when we're talking about supporting the community, supporting the artists, just supporting the people in your neighborhoods surrounding. So when I brought this to the library in October of 2023, I'd already been familiar with what the Blast artists were doing. My brother, Dizzy D, he was on the inaugural group of the Blast artists, and basically I'm gonna let Annie explain what the Blast artists actually are, but the Blast artists to me are everything that's right with community-based arts, community-based focus, right? And so when I brought this project to them, I knew I wanted to do something that explained how the city was growing, and also I wanted to show how those people that are changing the city, how they look, how they feel, the things they come from, the things that are important to them. And I think these photos show just a little piece of that, right? And if you want to just tell them a little bit about what the Blast artists are.
Swap it out.
Hey everyone, I'm Annie Phillips. I'm with the Huntsville-Madison County Public Library. It's such an honor to be here with Shedrick Pelt approaching us about this project and the vein of his talent. All these folks here, incredible artists, and everyone in this room who's a supporter and helped us. Orion and the Music Helps, the Alabama Communities Alliance, and our Library Foundation. All these people came together to help make this happen. So the Blast program, if you're not familiar with it, this started 2021. There's a company in Wisconsin, and they thought, hey, let's help libraries make local music be accessible and get artists out there and pay them. And so they developed a platform to do that. And so we bought into it, we're able to customize it, name it, brand it, and everything. That's what we did. We started out with 39 artists that first round, and now we're on round number 6. Can you hear? Okay. More? All right. I always feel like I'm talking loud, but I'm not. So anyway, it's Huntsville Music Month, September. We are on our 6th submission round now. We're actively seeking artists to submit, and then we have a curator team, some of whom are here tonight. Thank you. And past curators, very appreciative. And we are able to invite 50 artists per year. We are able, through a combination of an endowment from the library that's specifically for music and also the Huntsville Music Office, able to pay each artist that's invited $300 to license their music to stream on our platform. It's been an amazing project just because all the people here, I'm just astounded by the community here and how they've embraced it, and also, again, all these artists, just a few that that we have the privilege of listening to tonight. And then, of course, an opportunity to do this with Shedrick and everyone else involved. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Andy. Throughout working on this project, selfishly, I had a lot of great experience, I think, with everybody here. And I'll just give you a little taste before we have each artist talk. I'm gonna start with Sammy. I was able to meet her little boy, right? We were there, this beautiful sunset at Belvin's Gap. I don't know if anybody's been there over the overlook, but it pretty much overlooks the entire city. So we really had this amazing shoot where it was very organic. I got to know her, I got to know her son, and I think that was just like what really made this project special. So, Sam, first question is, growing up in Alabama, what are some of the things that contributed to, you cultivating your musical expression?
A big part of that is honestly church. The Southern hospitality, the Southern traditions that we just have here in the South. The love, I don't know, it's just like you don't meet a stranger, and that comes out a lot in my music, where I'm just encouraging a lot of others and uplifting and trying to make somebody smile. So that's what really comes out in my music.
And if somebody looks at your name, they may pronounce it wrong. So you want to share a little bit about how that works, and also just maybe tell us a little bit about your style of music.
So my name is Sammy. It's pronounced like with an S, but it's Arabic, so it's Z-A-M-I. I honestly, my real name is Renee, but my father passed when I was young, and his name was Sammy, so I go by my father's name. He also played guitar when he was younger. So my music that I make, I'm in the R&B, pop, and gospel. So I'm all of those three in a bundle.
One of the more exciting experiences that I had was with the band Camacho, right? And let me just set the scene. I show up at their practice space, which is in a warehouse off of University. I got this grandiose ideas. I'm gonna create smoke everywhere. We're gonna do this flash and all this. So I get the smoke machine rolling. The fire alarms go off. All right. As we're walking out of the building, these 10 huge firefighters with all their gear, all their tanks and all this rush past us, and we kind of just open the door. We look like stoners, like the smoke is rolling out, and we're looking like stoners, like, wait, what is going on here? We're all deaf, right? So these guys are rolling by us. They fly by us looking for a fire. Little do they know there's no fire except for in our hearts. And so we were a little embarrassed, but again, we're all sitting outside looking like stoners. And it actually worked out because we went right down the street to a jewelry store, and we hung out in front of the jewelry store as if we were going to rob the place. And we took the beautiful photo that you see in the hallway. So that was my experience with these guys. And on top of that, one of the guys shows up with a black eye, so you already know it's going to be a mess. Camacho, how did you guys come together?
Well, me, AC, and Alex, we grew up in Decatur, Alabama, and we went to Austin High School. And, it was really cool in Decatur when we were growing up. There was so much music happening around us, and I'm talking about, our people that we're in school with. We all played in different bands, and eventually, we were in each other's band. We used to go see each other's bands, but just listening to the same music, me and Alex were in music theory together, and we would just talk about what we were listening to, stuff like that. But we've just known each other for a long time. And also, I gotta make a note. I remember I wasn't there when the alarm went off, and I just drove up, and I just saw these fire trucks, all these sirens, and I'm gonna be honest, I thought about just keep driving. But I was just like, wait, that's my band. So I had to check it. That was one of the funnier experiences in the photo. But yeah, it was just really cool because there was something happening in Decatur when, I guess a movement, We had Planet Avalon, it was a venue, and Excalibur Vintage and Vinyl, and it was just, a place where young people, young and old, could come and play music, and they gave us a shot, and playing those shows and those stages really gave us the energy boost and the confidence, the motivation to do what we're doing today. So it's pretty much it.
I think if anybody talks about Camacho, they just talk about how hard they rock. And I come from a punk rock past, and so I have a lot of heroes from rock and punk rock music. What are some of y'all's heroes?
Oh man, how much time do I have? Give me two. Personally, Paul McCartney and Kurt Cobain. If you're talking to me, but no, if you ask all five of us, you're gonna get 5 different answers. So
Lady Gaga, Bob Dylan.
Michael Jackson all day. That's all I got.
Mark Hoppus got me into playing bass. I saw the What's My Age Again music video when they're all running around naked with the socks. And I thought I really wanted to do that. That's what got me into playing bass.
I'm going to have to second Michael Jackson and probably George Benson. I heard a lot of George Benson growing up, and so that guitar sound was just always ringing in my head.
All great artists, and I think that you guys continue where those artists left off. Next artist, Treetop. He's going to have the Gifted with him today. And he's a very gifted gentleman. And what I remember most about him is he has this beautiful guitar, right? It's like one of a kind. Like, if you're into music, you understand what this guitar means to music. And it's one of his prized possessions, and it's nice to see a man that loves his tools, because I love my tools the same way as a photojournalist. My tools are everything. My tools are an extension of myself, right? And so I very much felt that energy from Treetop. And I'll say, Treetop, what part of your identity is linked to your music? And I know you're an artist who has an all-black band, which may feel kind of rare.
I feel like the main thing I talk about is just working hard, against all odds and obstacles and everything. The album I have coming out is called Working Man. It's literally about everything I went through to start my band, working doubles to buy the equipment, and arguing with managers, getting into it with close friends and family, the whole nine. So I don't know, I really speak from personal experience, and I want to help anyone that wants to pursue their dreams, but maybe feel a little discouraged to start, and it's not easy, but you'll be okay. Just keep going. So that's the main thing I stand for and talk about.
And give us a little bit about your history here in Huntsville.
I came to Alabama A&M for music performance. I met a lot of different musicians from the jazz band and got invited to different rock bands around the town, and it was great. And I just thought to myself, I think I can do it. So I saved up for a drum set and a bass amp, and I just asked my homies, I was like, hey, would y'all learn how to, play music with me? People that never listened to rock, never play these instruments, and we worked hard and made it happen. So my experience in Huntsville has been great. This is a beautiful theater. All of you look great, and I'm just really happy to be here.
Less snaps. Let's get some snaps. Word. Next, I'm going to go all the way over here to the end. The fashionista. I had a great time. This is Kim Tibbs. Kim Tibbs is an amazing performer, and obviously she's very styled out. And what I remember about our experience was we walked around Low Mills for maybe half an hour to find the perfect spot. This isn't perfect. Oh, around the corner, nope, don't feel right. Nope, right there, right? She had this beautiful cloak that she had hand sewn herself, right? And she was so proud of it. The way she gripped it, you can tell she had like something attached to this piece of art, which is what it was. It was more than fashion, more than clothing. It was a piece of art, and you can see that in the photo. But that's what I remember the most, right? And we had a genuine conversation about what we're doing, where she's headed, where I'm headed, what matters. And I think it was what you see in that photo is the very organic energy that we captured. So, let me get my notes. Kim Tibbs. First, just give us a little background on the type of music you do and sort of where your music comes from.
So I am a native of Huntsville, born and raised. For me, my music is definitely centered around growing up. My father was a musician and a pastor. He's deceased now. He was a Hammond B3 organist, and so naturally, I wanted to kind of follow in his footsteps in music. My family's very musical. My sound is a little bit of traditional soul, Americana, a little bit of gospel. But as producer, I kind of go with what I'm feeling. I write music based off of what I want to hear. My sound is very big band. So the last album that I recorded, The Science of Completion Volume 1, spent 42 weeks on the UK Soul charts. It was #1 for 6 weeks. I had 7 #1s off of it. But it's a big band. I had 25 musicians. I had 4 strings, 4 horns, and Hammond organ is my full sound. So it's not many girls that are bold enough to rock an organ in out front. And I'm very happy because I'm an endorsee of Hammond and several other companies, but they support us girls. It's not many of us. For every girl that may be a Hammond organist, it's about 10 or 11 guys. And so for me, I'm humbled that I get calls. I'm humbled that I get to say, hey, I'm hailing from the great state of Alabama. And so with Huntsville's music scene and how it's grown and how this beautiful Orion and all of the different music venues, I didn't have that when I wanted to become that songwriter and artist. So I had to go out. I had to go overseas to get the respect, to get known, to get exposures, to get artistry, to get creative. And so it's really exciting. I haven't performed solo in Huntsville in over 8 years. So this is my first performance today. But it's very positive. It's very uplifting. Some say it's gospel, but to me it's true soul. So that's my sound.
He has a really unique instrument that she'll be playing today, and it's not just it may look like a keyboard, and that's just me, that's not at all musically inclined, but this really special piece of equipment that we literally had a helicopter fly over here, bring it down, drop it, and load it in. Can you tell us a little bit about the B3 organ?
So for those that are churchgoers, the B3 organ is that big piece that's in the corner. Most of the time, it's the loudest piece that's in the corner. And you can't fake it. You can't transpose. So if you're not a real musician, don't get on it, basically. For those, no offense, but you either know how to play it or you don't. And so, funny story about the B3, I was touring. I was at Hard Rock Cafe in Chicago, where Hammond Organ USA is based. There's 11 people that work there. And I was on this Prince tribute. Didn't know that all Hammond Organ USA was sitting right there at the booth, and they just right there in the back front, and I play in heels. And so these guys just kept coming up, and they kept pointing at my feet, and it got annoying. And so after I got off stage, they were like, how did you learn how to play in the heels? So when you see a B3 organist, they usually use their left foot. I have to learn how to angle over years, because if you hit the wood, you're going to bust your knee. And so I told them, without even knowing who they were, I said, well, the idiots at Hammond Organ never thought that a woman would play it. And so I had to learn how to improvise, and they fell out laughing. They were like, well, I'm Sky May, artist relations from Hammond. Welcome to Hammond Kid. So that's how I got my endorsement.
Sometimes you gotta keep it real, you know? Next guy I'm gonna go to, Dizzy D. We grew up in the same house. We had a whooping at the same time. We had the same dinners. And every day is special with him. So, Dizzy D, tell us a little bit about, where your music inspiration comes from.
My music inspiration comes from just all over, man. Just growing up, I listen to everything, but just everything hip hop. I came up in, I don't know if everybody remembers the Columbia House days. You get 12 CDs for one. You cancel the membership, sign up 6 months later. So, yeah, and I would just get everything, everything hip hop, Mobb Deep, Outkast, everything, I could go on and on with that. But, I was really just a student of just, and I just enjoyed just listening to everything, listening to music and listening to the lyrics and just different kind of beats and different sounds from all over. And I think you can kind of hear that in my music because it's just all over the place. It's not just Southern rap. It's just, it's everything. It might sound like some up north stuff. It might sound like some West Coast stuff because I have all those influences. And, really for me, when I kind of got my start, was overseas in the military, and that's when I really just started getting into like trying to do it on my own. I came back home. My cousin introduced me to Mally Boy from Slow Motion Sounds. Shout out Slow Motion Sounds. And that's really where I got my start, and I just got in the studio and just started making albums, and yeah, here today. You know.
Speaking of albums, go ahead and plug that new one.
I just dropped the album. It's called We Up There, Dizzy D, We Up There on all your streaming platforms. I produced all 19 songs, so I did all the beats, and I wrote most of the lyrics, but I got some features on there. But yeah, so go cop that. It's out right now. Yeah.
Great. Next we're going to Be Smooth, smoothest man in the room. If you spell it with a V, you got to be smooth. Okay. So Be Smooth. We did this at Big Spring Park, favorite park, beautiful park, sunset, beautiful moment. This gentleman actually went to school with my little sister, which is a great connection between us. He's got that golden boy smile. Look at him. Quit it. Be Smooth in the building. Let's see. Be Smooth. Where do you see yourself growing as an artist?
Let's see. That's a loaded question. Me seeing myself growing as an artist, every day I try to take some kind of influence from artists like that are sitting up here, just around me locally, people that are already established. I'm a sponge. I try to soak up as much that I can. When I'm performing, I'm paying attention to the audience. I'm looking at the faces, seeing an engagement. Like, where I see myself in the future is collecting all that I've soaked up and just putting it back out, in a sense. Yeah, that'd probably be my answer for that.
So when you soak those moments up and then you go into the studio, where's your head at when you're making music? And like, do you have a purpose when you're going in to make music?
Yeah, so my main purpose is to just come from the heart. Every song that I write or I sing comes from the heart. I'm a firm believer that you can tell what's real and what's fake when an artist is on the stage. I'm more so in R&B, so I'm all about love. I'm all about telling the truth about the ups and the downs. I'm trying to bring just vulnerability back in R&B. So when I go in the studio, I'm singing and performing as if it's something that I want to hear, and restoring that feeling amongst everybody. It's just love.
Great to end on a little love. And so we got, last but not least, we got DJ Scissorhands. G-Man. We got two more. We got DJ Scissorhands, the guy that's running the night for us. DJ Scissorhands, we had a moment. I don't know if anybody knows, at Pulaski Pike near the Toyota plant. Pulaski and what was that? Is that research? What is it called? Bob Wayne? Martin Luther King by the Toyota plant. Anyways, at an intersection, there's this old, rickety, looks like an old barn or something that hasn't been torn down, even though all the land is cleared off. And I kind of created my own romantic ideas about what it is, but we did it there. We hiked across 2 lanes of the highway. We almost got hit a couple times. It was a little stressful, but we did it. And it was a great moment. So DJ Scissorhands, when you're looking out at a crowd and you want to make a crowd move, what are some of the bangers that you like to go through? It can be genre or it can just be specific tunes.
Me personally, I like soul, you know what I'm saying? I came up, Athens, Alabama is where my grandparents stayed, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Athens. And the house I grew in, it kind of ran 2 parallel lifestyles. My granddad ran a shot house and a gamble house. My grandmother did a lot of religious praying on the other side. So, with my mother being the oldest daughter out of 15 children, so I had a lot of uncles as well. So in this house in Athens, with all this stuff going on, I learned as a child you can stay in my place for one. So in that, I found a lot of discovery. There was a lot of music around, obviously, whether it was religious or the funk and the soul, because everybody, you know, you get them drinks and you got to shake a leg and all that. And my granddad, I can still have vivid memories of like yesterday. He was just out there like Fred Sanford. And it stuck with me because I just grew up catering to the adults. So I got an old soul, so that's what it is, man. I love soul. Bring soul back.
Thank you, DJ. Suzanne. All right, and now last, but definitely not least, we got G-May. OG. And when I say OG, I mean OG. Not old, but just original. Original AF. You know what I'm saying? G-Man, he's definitely somebody that's really well respected in the community. I think he talks a lot about what's important in like growth as just like a human, right? It's not about where you are, it's about where you're going with his music and what he talks about. And we shot at, what's the name of it again? Muscle Shoals Sound Studio. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, right, absolutely. Muscle Shoals Sound Studio, which is where Cher, the Jackson 5, all these types of artists really had roots in. And just being there was like really special. G-Man, tell us a little bit about what Huntsville was musically when you was coming up, and give us a bit like years when that was happening.
Man, where I need to go over there in the middle. Not in front of the speaker. Okay, I'm sorry. That's okay. Y'all had to excuse me. I was late. I was out back getting my Snoop Dogg on. So. I guess. What was it?
So coming up in Huntsville, what was the music scene like when you was fresh?
Well, being from Muscle Shoals, we traveled up here a lot because the guy that kind of put us together to do shows, he was from Huntsville, DJ 711, his name's Johan Roberts. But he was in a group called Crisis. And this is when a lot of groups were around Huntsville. J to the Third, Rudy DeVille was in that group. It was a group called Romp. I think it was a group called Def Jam. It was a lot of groups around at this time. So we were able to come up, do what we were doing and come up here and do some shows and develop relationships with a lot of people that, we still got these relationships today. And those relationships developed to not only us being able to like go across country doing this music, we've been able to go overseas and do music. So Huntsville has always been a big part, of what we've been trying to do musically. Because I come from a place where it's known as the hit recording capital of the world, but ain't no hip hop coming out of Muscle Shoals. Nobody but us. We were the only one. And people always ask us, how do we do what we did from there? But good music is just good music. And that's how I feel about it, no matter what the genre. We got to quit boxing music in. Ain't but two types of music, good music and bad music.
I think we'll round it up on that note. Another round of applause for all these amazing artists. We're going to hear them perform here in a minute. We're going to do a quick changeover. Like I said, my name is Shedrick Pelt. I want to thank everybody for coming out, all these beautiful faces, like my man Treetop said. And what's really important about this project is that it offers a platform for these artists to be seen and heard at the same time, right? I think there's enough space for all of us, and I think that's what this is also about, is that this is a collective of opportunities, and again, there's space for all of us. So thanks again, guys.